Welcome everybody to a look at the fifth film in the V Cinema Essentials Bullets and Betrayal box set from Arrow Video, and it is 1991's Burning Dog. So this is directed by Yuichi Sai, who I've not seen anything else from before, and this is a crime drama clocking in at 103 minutes long. Stars Seiji Matano, who was also in Crime Hunter Bullets of Rage out of this box set, as well as Takashi Naito, who was also in Stranger out of this box set. So it's nice to see finally having recurring cast members in this box set. So, a gang of thieves plot to rob a US military base in Okinawa, but rising tensions in the group threaten to put the plan in jeopardy. So, although there is some solid action, there is a decent amount of action right at the beginning for a few minutes, and then decent action throughout the rest of the film. There's also a reasonably engaging second half and a good cast. This is unfortunately undermined by a lackluster first half, as outside of that momentary amount of action at the beginning, it's a little bit of a slog in certain regards in that first half where not much happens. And a high scene that really does lack any kind of tension or inventiveness. You know, I've seen many a film with high scenes in it, and there's been plenty that have been absolutely superb. You're going all the way from Rafifi all the way to the likes of, you know, the Mission Impossible films or Ocean's 11 and stuff like that. And yeah, this just has the same kind of pacing and, you know, tension or lack of tension as the rest of the film. So it doesn't really amp up. It doesn't really hit into a new gear. It just holds the same kind of tone and same kind of pacing, really, which is unfortunate. There are also no real likable characters, unfortunately. The majority of the women characters are also treated quite poorly, with no real satisfying payoff to that poor treatment. And though the ending is decent, there is no real build up to it. That said, there is also some on-point cinematography, a well-structured narrative structure, because narrative, should I say, well-structured narrative, because there's a lot of flashbacks to a prior heist that went wrong 10 years prior to the events of this one, and it's good to see that intercut in between the rest of the film. And it's got reasonable pacing, especially in the second half, but yeah, unfortunately, this is the first one that is in the box set, and I know we've gotten four prior, so you know it's probably guaranteed to eventually get to a point where there's going to be a somewhat lackluster entry. But yeah, this is the first one in this box set that I've rated less than 4 stars. It's only going to get a 3 from me out of 5, unfortunately, and there's just too much wrong with it for me to really give it any higher of a score. Now, that's not to say that I hated my experience with this, because I certainly didn't. I certainly was less frustrated with it in certain respects than there was with uh, Neo Chimp here but Zoom Goes a Bullet, because I was quite frustrated with the way that ended. Although apparently there is a sequel to that that does somewhat make that ending a little bit more satisfying. But you know, I have to take a film for what it is on its own merits, and yeah, that ending for that was quite frustrating. There's nothing quite as frustrating in this. It's just a little bit more unengaging and unsatisfying in a lot of ways, to be honest. So yeah, that's unfortunately why it's only getting 3 out of 5. There is thankfully still enough good about it to keep it, you know, engrossing enough. But yeah, that first half outside of the initial action scene is just not particularly interesting, to be honest, unfortunately. So, yeah, unlike the prior disc, which had Stranger and Carlos on it, this is rated in 18, although the first disc was also rated in 18. So, it's definitely a lot more adult orientated than the previous two films. And on this disc, we've got a high definition Blu-ray presentation of the film, original lossless Japanese stereo audio, optional newly translated English subtitles, and then we've got a newly filmed introduction to the film by Japanese film critic Masaki Taneoka. Then we've got Fire and Ice, a brand new video essay on Burning Dog by critic and Japanese cinema expert Mark Schilling. And yeah, then the other extras are basically for the other film, although we do have an original trailer for this film and the reversible sleeve artwork, which again is very similar to the previous ones, having a gun down one side and then characters from the film on the other side, which, yeah, I'm really quite bored of right now, to be honest. It was interesting enough for the first couple of films, but yeah, it just really just seems a kind of a copy and paste job in a lot of ways. I'll show you the original poster as well, if you didn't see it in my box set on opening. So yeah, unfortunately, a 3 out of 5. Hopefully, the next film is a little bit better, or at least as good as. I don't want to again drop in quality once more, although it does seem to be a little bit more exploitation based, the next film, just like XX Beautiful Hunter, which is the final film of the box set, looks like. But the two films after this, the next one, The Hitman Blood Smells Like Roses and Danger Point: The Road to Hell, do sound quite fun, to be honest. So hopefully that's the case for those two at least. But I'm keeping my hopes up for the next film. But based on the poster, I'm expecting it to be quite exploitation heavy, kind of like this one is in terms of the sexual abuse towards women. So yeah, hopefully not the case. So but nonetheless, if you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you with the next one. Bye.